from Victoria, it's never acceptable to wear fishing gloves. Hello everyone, welcome to the Deep Drop Fishing Podcast, where we ask lots of weird and wonderful questions that you're probably familiar with because you probably sit out there sometimes after a day fishing or while you're out on the water and these weird questions pop up into your mind. And I'm Luke McCredden and my mate's Adam Ring with me. And Ads, we've asked each other these sorts of questions all the time.
Yeah, we do. So we thought, why not hit the record button on some of these conversations and we'll talk through it, Luke, because some of these questions are really interesting. Some of them are just plain silly, and that's what makes it so fun.
Well, we've got some to get through right now, so let's get into it. Is Victoria the only state that doesn't froth on prawn-style lures?
This is a question I've often asked myself over the years, Luke, because every year at every trade show, you can guarantee that someone's going to release a prawn-style lure. So whether that's a pre-rigged thing, whether it's a soft plastic, whether it's a hard body, whether it's a squid jig, whatever it may be, something comes out that imitates a prawn.
Yes.
And every time, as someone who had a little bit of responsibility on ordering stock for a tackle shop, I looked at it and said, yes, that is going to be the one that catches everything. And every single time, you see him sitting there on the shelf 6 months later going, no one bought a prawn lure.
Yeah.
But you have a look at, like, especially as you head up north through New South Wales and into southern Queensland, and obviously we know up top end for Barron, bits and pieces, they're huge. But if you're not sure what to put on when you get to those northern states, you just tie on some sort of shrimp or prawn style lure. Yep. Why is that not the case in Victoria? Everything still eats them.
Yeah, and I mean, we've got such a healthy sort of system of those actual real-life versions of those lures, so I don't understand it either. It's a really fascinating question, and it's a great one for this podcast, I think, because it, again, hopefully we hear from some of you guys out there listening on across Instagram, because I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on it, because I'm really curious about it. Other states go nuts for new lures, like you've said, at trade shows and whatever, and they want more of this and more of that, and then you sort of bring it back home and think it's just not non-existent here. Like, there's certainly a market for it, but you're right, it should be bigger. I can't understand why it wouldn't be as big and popular as anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, we've got some Gippsland systems that have got the biggest dusky flathead in the world, and they all eat prawns. We've got snapper and gummies that'll get up into the shallows of Western Port and have a real good, scurry around for some mantis shrimp. We've got all of the estuary and freshwater species, from Murray cod to yellow belly to estuary perch to brim, that'll all eat shrimp and or prawns. Like, they should be up there with the first lure you're going to buy is just a prawn style lure because everything eats them.
We've had no shortage of options either. Like, we've had some amazing. We've got access to all of the ones that are super popular around the rest of the country. We've had some brands bring in almost specifically for our market the sizes and colours and styles, but it continues to just get overlooked. And I don't know, like, you're a very, what I call I don't know if this is the right way to describe you, but you're a dickhead. You are quite a technical angler. When I fish with you, you think about it. Like so you put a bit of thought into it. There's a lot of people, probably like me, that doesn't. But so, when I often speak to you about just the actions, and it's very important to get the right action on lures. Is there a particular way to work these lures that we're not yet familiar enough with or confident enough with in our waterways?
I think you've potentially just nailed the answer, because I have thought about this for way too long. Like years in fact. Every time I would see a new prawn or shrimp style lure, I'm like, oh yeah, is this going to be the one? I think it's because in Victoria, I think we must be lure snobs. Because I don't reckon they're that popular, because when you put them in the water, they don't do anything. There's no action. There's no sexy action of a bibbed hard body that's got a body roll or a really aggressive slashing action, or there's not a vibrating style like a vibe or a blade. There's not a blooping action like a top water popper.
Yep.
Essentially, it's just a bit of plastic shaped like a deformed banana, and you just hold it there and hope a fish eats it.
All right. So yeah, okay. So it's not so it's not attracting us, the angler, enough.
Yeah. But then, I don't know. But then I think about it and go, then why do they still love them everywhere else in the country?
Maybe it's a case of
they still do nothing up north.
Yeah, I know, but maybe it's a case of they're just seeing how effective they can be and continue to be, and just they don't care about what it looks like once it's in the water. It does the job.
Yeah, but what? It's weird though, because why have we not seen like that success? Because I'm sure if you saw right how popular those lures are for everything up north, and everyone who watches a fishing show on YouTube or has watched the many fishing shows on free to air TV over the years, we've all seen them being used. But we just don't. I'd probably even go as far to say as we don't even have the same success rate in catching fish on them down here, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because we're not throwing them enough. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean,
I don't know.
To look at specifically a couple of species in particular, flathead seems a no-brainer. Why wouldn't we be using them throughout East Gippsland? Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, that's right.
It seems the most sensible place you would really use them. And as I said, people do. Like it's not as if no one does. But
that's right.
Curious
they
as to why it's
popular.
not. Yeah. So, but as far as the question, is the only state that doesn't froth on the prawn style lure? I think so. I think potentially, especially.
Okay, here's a great opportunity for our very educated listeners to teach us something, Luke.
Yes, good. We need
Get
to be
involved.
taught.
I want to know the specific brand and prawn style lure that you use regularly.
Yep.
And what you'll tie it on for to target first. So are you a perch fisherman and swear on a DOA prawn?
Yep.
Or are you a Gippsland flathead fisherman and swear on a Berkeley shimmer shrimp?
Yep.
I want to know exactly what you use for what species, because I'm convinced they still have to be, they would work just as well down here in Vic than what they would up north. I just don't know if we tie them on enough.
Here's the challenge, Ads. You've laid down the challenge to our listeners, and just get onto Instagram and let us know. Give us some ideas, and Adam, you and I will take those ideas and we'll go stock up on a whole bunch of these style lures, and we will go fishing.
Yep.
Turn us into prawn
challenge.
style lure anglers, because I want to be. I want to embrace it. Let's embrace it.
They have to work.
Yep.
They have to work.
But we need to be educated. So get on there, everyone, and let us know. That would be great.
I'm all in.
Do you keep a fishing diary? Keeping a diary, Ads. Jesus. I mean, I love the concept, but mate, I struggle to know what day it is most of the time. I love the concept, but no, absolutely not. It's an absolute no for me. I know people do, absolutely, like lots of people, and I'm fascinated at it. And part of me wishes I had the I suppose the patience to do it, and the ability to spend that time doing it. But I think it's probably one of those things where, and I'll love to hear your thoughts in a sec, Ads. But if someone is a diehard in a particular area for its particular species, and let's use snapper for example, that's where it could absolutely come into its own. I don't think it would be really justified me doing it anyway, because I'm doing bits and pieces of everything. So there's no real, like, yes, I could look back and go, oh, okay, this time of year I went and caught kingfish off Barwon Heads and did this and that. But because, like, I think if I was just a snapper fisherman in Port Phillip Bay, for example, and fished it hard all year round and kept a diary of every session, I reckon it would be very, very valuable to then look back and just see the patterns and see what's happening. And I know people do it, but yeah, I don't. Do you?
No, I don't. And there's a couple of reasons why I don't. It's just a waste of paper for me because it's just full of blank pages and notes like caught nothing or
Fishing
weather was
shit.
great. Weather was great. Catching a fish would have been a bonus. Like just full of crap. And then I'd get one, and in capital letters it would just say, "I actually caught something," and not write down any information about what happened because I was just so pumped to get something. So I don't keep a fishing diary.
No.
And I kind of feel as though the day of the fishing diary is dead. Because we have this wonderful thing called social media.
Mate, you've nailed it. I think social media is the modern day fishing diary. It's got every memory we need to keep. If you sort of dive deep enough, you can find out what the sort of weather was looking like in a photo or something like that. And
I was just about to say, do you think maybe we have been unintentionally keeping a fishing diary?
maybe.
Because every time we catch something, we take a photo of it on our phone, which is time and date stamped.
Wow, I didn't even realise that. Game changer.
Game changer.
Do you know, but what about, and this is a throwback reference to one of our earlier episodes, the only people who will be at a disadvantage here are the ones that blur out the backgrounds of their photos.
Nah, because those sort of people see the photo and go, caught another one.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. So, yeah, because you're right. You've got all the details of when and what time and things like that you've caught that fish. That's interesting.
If you really wanted to, you could use those dates that are stamped on the photo to go back and have a look at moon phase. You could even go back and see when the actual tide was if you really wanted to.
But see, you're
piece
getting
it all together. I really don't care that much. But
I'm yawning. Like,
it's too much hard work.
But this is a perfect example of that you and I don't keep a fishing diary because we didn't even realise that we could just look at our photos and it's got a time and day on it. Oh, look, again, throwing out there to listeners, I'd love to know and hear from people that do keep them and how actually much they use them and to their advantage, like to look back on or to go through and say, righto, we've got to lead up to this weather pattern. This time last year it happened and we smacked them. Let's go do it again. And we do know that sort of thing will help. Like if you have that, that pattern over the course of a couple of years and then it's all aligning again for this year, 90% chance it's going to be the same and you're going to smack him again. But
the absolute undisputed king of all fishing diaries has to be Brett Geddes.
Oh, yes.
And for those that don't follow Brett on social media, do yourself a favour because you may not see lots of stuff from him regular, but once every couple of weeks, he will put out the most comprehensive Gippsland fishing report you've ever seen. But this is a guy that can tell you in the last calendar year how many bream and how many perch he got to the fish. He is that passionate about it, and I'm sure that's what's made him one of the best anglers I've ever seen.
100%, and we love Brett.
Because he can put a pattern together based on his own findings.
But you know what? He's the example I was using before. So someone who does, and I'm not saying he does the same thing over and over, but what he does is he's mastered his area, his domain, which is, there's not just one waterway. There's a few systems he fishes and whatnot. There is a couple of species in particular he loves more than anything else. So him keeping records and keeping diaries of that makes perfect sense to me. And if you're dedicated and enough to do that, mate, power to you, because it's you're spot on. He's
it'd have to be valuable. It'd have to be so valuable.
Yeah. But I'm just lazy, mate. I'm not.
I don't have the discipline for it either.
So, do you keep a fishing diary? It's a no from me.
And that's definite no from me. And I probably won't start one anytime soon either.
When is it acceptable to wear fishing gloves?
Now, after a previous episode where I basically shit on tournament shirts for a whole segment, I'm guessing that you would think that I would say it's never acceptable to wear fishing gloves. But that's the opposite.
What?
Yep, it's the opposite.
This has caught me off guard.
Yeah, and I have a couple of clear examples on when they are justified.
Okay, I'm listening.
One of which I have no personal experience with.
Mm-hmm.
So please tell me if I'm wrong. If you're fishing in the tropics for 30 kilo to 50 kilo GTs, or you're vertical jigging in humid conditions for dogtooth, kingies, whatever, with a short, hyper-aggressive fight in tough conditions, with that much pressure, I think gloves solely for grip would be a game changer. Yep. So now I've never been in those situations personally to tackle those big fish with really, I guess, hot conditions where there is a chance that you actually lose the outfit because the fish can pull harder than what you can hold on for.
Yep.
That I could see, yes, a glove thing. Now the other one, my other reason comes from personal experience. It can be the most overcast day ever. You could be wearing a bloody raincoat, and I guarantee the back of my hands get burnt. So if you're one of those ones that would prefer to wear a sun glove rather than put sunscreen on the back of your hands, because I know some people get really funny about sunscreen and then handling lures and bait and all that. I'm not one of those people. I tend to try and put sunscreen on the back of my hands. But if you would prefer to wear a glove, power to you. You're not going to get any criticism from me.
I think, firstly, if anything, any article of clothing, tournament shirt or glove that is protecting your body from potential dangerous things like UV rays, cancer-causing UV rays, then absolutely. I'm never going to knock that. We're all supportive of that for sure. We just have a bit of fun when we talk about tournament shirts and whatnot. But but okay, I'm shocked. But I'm not that surprised because I think your points are fair. But firstly, I will say this to purely answer the question of is it acceptable to wear fishing gloves. If you're from Victoria, it's never acceptable to wear fishing gloves. There's no reason fishing anywhere in Victoria that you need fishing gloves.
Hang on, no, I'm going to push back on that.
But your skin protection one, that's fine. That's fine. I'll allow that.
We still get consistent days in low to mid 30s with gnarly UV. Come on.
Yeah. No. The skin protection one I'm saying is fine. I get that. I'm talking about the more sporty type style.
Oh, mate, you rock up snapper fishing in Port Phillip Bay rocking gloves. Oh, mate, you will feature personally on this podcast at some point. I guarantee it.
But I've never worn them ever in my angling career, if you want to call it that. However, I have been in a situation where I do remember one time thinking, I wish I had them, and that was I've fished New Zealand a few times, but the one time in particular we were fishing heavy jigging in 120 metres of water or something like that, and it happened to be, surprisingly, in New Zealand, it was actually a hot day too. So there was a combination of sweat, combination of just burning your hands out on just trying to, you're jigging. Like you said, you're constantly working the rod, whether you've hooked a fish or not. That was one time I thought, you know what? These Kiwi blokes around me jigging with gloves on look a lot more comfortable than I do right now. So I would have happily worn them then. And I agree, up north with big GTs and stuff like that, because I honestly, part of that's got to be the sweat factor. Like you just lose rods, like if you just slip straight out of your hands. Am I right?
Yeah, well, there was one year in Weeper, I practically begged the guide to find anything that would cover the back of my hands, because after day one, they were that insanely burnt. My hands were swollen and they were sore, and I ended up wearing, and I'm not proud of it, but I had to, Luke. I had to. I ended up wearing those really old school, like tan, almost like skin colored, like, you know, no one will know you've ever got them on, but those ones that just have finger holes. So it's not a glove.
Oh, it's
almost
just
like
a bit of a. You're cycling,
it's just a
like
bit of a
you're
cloth.
about to ride a bike afterwards or something.
Yeah, but worse than that. Like they're just this tiny little bit of cloth that connects to under each finger, and then just a loose bit of material that sits over the back of your hand with some Velcro to go around your wrist.
Wow,
mate, the worst.
Yeah,
and
you lowered your colours that day.
I had to. I was in that much pain. I had to have them.
One more situation that I think it's acceptable, but it's also, I think it's just appropriate, is, and something I haven't done, is there's been a big craze over the last few years of fishing for Murray cod in the middle of the night. I'm talking the depth of winter, middle of the night. It's just not ideal, not appealing to me at all. I do want to do it because I take my hat off to everyone.
I don't.
There's a bunch of people that do it a lot, and I think you got to be wearing gloves in that situation, because you're going to cut your finger off or do something stupid. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, but is that because it's so unbelievably cold?
Cold, yeah, cold. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. What are your thoughts on wearing a glove to handle a fish?
No, mate, no. What do you need? What do you need a glove to handle a fish for, Adam?
Well, you said Murray cod. Like I've never caught a big Murray cod.
Yeah.
And well, actually, maybe I should use a species I've actually caught, like a flathead.
Yeah.
You know how the first thing you want to do is, oh, they have no teeth. I'll put my thumb in its mouth.
Yeah.
And you only ever do that once. Would you ever put a glove on to handle a flathead?
No. And if you
good.
No.
Good, because I didn't think we could be friends. Like,
Mate,
I thought it was a risky question.
It's if we end up picking up one of the challenges from the listeners in the Instagram post about the prawn style lures we have to use, and if one of them's flathead, and if we go flathead fishing, and if I see a glove, mate, I'm out. I'm out. I'll jump overboard and swim home. I don't care. You're not. Don't bring that. Don't bring that shit. You don't.
Nah.
I think if there's the raspy teeth, and I think the cod have got that as well, and whatever else. Use fish grips or just deal with it. Like, it's not going to cut your finger off.
Man up, pussy. Like if you're getting amongst it, go all in.
Yeah, it's questionable. Anyway, so gloves are an interesting one. But yeah, I think there's only a couple of situations that they're okay.
Yeah, and even then, you try and talk yourself out of using them
because your mates will be as well. All right.
Anyway,
well,
fishing gloves, love them.
Love them. It's a no from you. Then I'm assuming. When is it acceptable to wear fishing gloves?
Yeah, I can.
Yes, there are times
to wear fishing gloves.
There are times. Yep. No, fair enough. All right. Well, let's leave on that note. Thank you everyone for listening and tuning into the Deep Drop. If you like what you've heard, make sure you subscribe.
Hang on. What was your answer? Not acceptable?
If you're from Victoria, it's never acceptable. That's what I'm saying. If you're fishing in Victoria, it's never acceptable. But same as you, up north, GT popping, that sort of thing, yeah, that's fine. And sun gloves, I'm okay with it because we're pro skin protection for sure.
So the next time we go fishing, if I rock up with my Weeper sun gloves, you're not going to tease me?
Oh, mate, I'll make your life hell.
You said it was acceptable. Bugger it, I'm wearing a tournament shirt as well.
I don't know. I don't know what's acceptable anymore. Anyway, we're just having a bit of fun. These are only our thoughts, but we want to hear your thoughts and give it to us. Give us your thoughts and opinions on any of these questions and any questions from previous episodes as well. Thanks so much for listening to the Deep Drop. We've had fun. Adam, you've had fun?
I've had fun.
Should we do it again? We'll do it again?
Yeah, we should. Yeah,
let's do it
yeah.
again.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. We'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it.
Subscribe to the podcast. Tell your friends about it. Get on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Give us your thoughts. And that's the combo. That's the combo right there. Subscribing to the podcast, following the Instagram page, and then getting involved. That's the trifecta.
Get involved. Yep. We will answer your questions too.